Hi, look at this new decade. Today we are in the 1930s. It feels a little strange. A new diary, new wardrobe, new outfit. Well, it's not new. It's new to you guys. It's new to the series. I haven't worn this yet. We have not done the 30s or 40s, have we? Oh my gosh. No, I think the farthest we've gotten was like 1930 with Adeline. I wasn't dressing up for hers. Now we're dressing up. And we are in 1937. I have several of this woman's diaries. Like I have said before, I try to keep them together as much as possible. If I'm able to win the whole set or negotiate with the seller, then I do. Although I kind of avoid it now if I see a whole set of them because it's expensive. So I can't commit to sets of books anymore. So I don't have many. Vivian's was the important one because I really enjoy her writing. But I felt like these should stay together as well, so I got several of them, and we will read through them just like how we're doing Eliza, you know, splitting it up a bit. Although for Eliza, the reason we're doing that is because it takes me forever to decipher what she's writing. Mrs. Shaw, however, Mrs. Albert Shaw, but her name is Harriet. Her writing is fairly legible, so I've been able to read through her diaries. I've read 2 of them so far pretty quickly. So I haven't had to decipher these the way I have had to do Eliza's. So we might get through them quicker. Who knows? I have so many of Eliza's diaries, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's gonna take forever. I need to figure out how to do this because I've got like 25 of them and we haven't yet read the second one on camera. So it concerns me how long I'm going to be reading these diaries. Anyway, I'm looking at my notes down here because I printed out a couple things that happened in 1937. I tried to give you a little overview of what's going on that year, because sometimes they mention things in the diaries and we go over that, and sometimes they don't, and it's just nice to know what's going on in the world. So, and apologize for the lisp. I have new Invisalign retainers and so many more attachments, and sometimes I read without them, sometimes I read with them. It just depends. Today I have them in, but they feel very clunky. So in 1937, Amelia Mary Earhart mysteriously disappeared over the Pacific Ocean during a circumnavigation flight. So that was that year. I don't think she mentions that in her diary. The German airship Hindenburg burst into flames while attempting to moor at Lakehurst, New Jersey. She does mention that. That is tragic. The Memorial Day massacre takes place when 10 Union demonstrators are killed when police open fire on Union protesters in Chicago. Walt Disney premieres Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Aviator Howard Hughes breaks his own transcontinental flight speed record when he flies from Los Angeles to Newark. British author J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy novel The Hobbit was published. The first blood bank opens in Chicago. San Francisco's iconic Golden Gate Bridge officially opens during May. And the emergency 999 telephone service is started in the UK. She does not live in the UK. I'm not sure why I put that in here. That's very strange. What was I doing? Because some of these things are just oddly noted. Anyway, the rest of them are notes on Harriet and the diary. So yeah, as usual, it can be a little confusing to keep track of the people she mentions. Some of them I figured out who they are. And I can see about linking a family tree. That helps, but I can't always do that. We'll see if she's on. Yeah, she's on Family Search, so I can link that one. Those public. You might have to sign up for an account, but it's free. FamilySearch.org. So anyway, her name is Harriet Lyon Sumner. That was her maiden name. She was born February 9th, 1861. And she dies in 1959. So 1861, I didn't, no wait, she does mention her birthday. I am blanking. Oh, there it is. She turns 76 this year. So, envision. I don't have any pictures of her, I'm sorry. She was born in Vermont, Burlington, Chittenden, Vermont. She has a sister, Helen Sumner, who was born in 1868, and she dies in 1942, so I probably have that diary. She married Albert William Shaw, who was born also in 1861. I'm not going to tell you when he dies. They married in 1882. He's also 76 years old in this diary. Then it gets confusing because, let's see, her son, she has Charles Sumner Shaw, so that's Charlie. I think he's 49 or 50. Her daughter Harriet Lyon Barker Shaw. So Harriet has a daughter Harriet, confusing, and she's married to a Charles Wilson Parker. She's got a son Albert Park Shaw. So after his father, we got two Albert Shaws, and then a son Henry Eugene Shaw. And then she's got some grandkids, Albert Park Shaw Jr. So we got three Albert Shaws, and Sumner T. Shaw and Virginia Barker Shaw. There are some other ones. I guess I don't have them noted because she mentions other children. I think they might be her daughter's children, Harriet and Charles. Although I am confused. She mentions a guy named Plum, and I think it's a nickname for someone with the last name Plumley, but he's also with a Harriet. So that I don't know, it's a little confusing, you know. Anyway, so her grandson, sorry for going on like this, but I need to tell you who these people are. Her grandson, Albert Park Shaw Jr., was a career military man and made it to the rank of colonel. His many awards and well, he got a lot of awards. I can make note of that in the description. I want to get started. But he was inducted into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame in 2006. There is an interview with him online, and I can link to that. There's also something on Amazon, Love Letters Between Albert and Nancy Watson. And I reached out to the woman I bought the diaries from because she said she was working on a project, and I'm wondering if that was it, but she didn't get back to me. Anyway, yeah, that's on Amazon, which could be interesting to read as well. And let's see, she lived in Pittsfield, Ward 5, Berkshire, Massachusetts. Let's see, did she have her address right in the front? Yeah, 41, I cannot read this very well, 41 Taconic Street, Pittsfield. And I should have already looked that up, and I did not. But I will. So I think that covers it. I'm sorry, that was a long one. And we will get started reading her diary. So here we go. Let's keep an eye on the time there. Ahem. Friday, January 1st, 1937, New Year's Day. 34 degrees a.m. This morning we went to Lebanon for water, as the roads are good. We took Miss Campbell. Had a nap after dinner. We had supper at Parks with Sumner, Virginia, Isabel, and Nancy. So yeah, I think yeah, Virginia, oh dear, we had that. Virginia's a grandchild, Sumner's a grandchild. Isabel and Nancy, I think, are grandchildren, but I'm not sure whose now. And then there's a girl named Lotta. It was Lotta's party for the children. Park and Marion were out, but returned about 8:30. We had ice cream and cake for dessert. It was all nice. Saturday, January 2nd. Letters from Harriet and Betty. Cloudy, snow. We went uptown this morning and I bought a blue bag of antelope skin with part of the $5 Miss Campbell gave me for Christmas. I invited Miss Campbell to dinner tomorrow. I walked a good deal and was very tired and had a nap after dinner. It snowed hard in the afternoon and looks like winter once more. Park came and fixed the Electrolux and hooked up the upstairs radio. He is a dear. Albert began reading Gone with the Wind this eve. And darn it, I think I forgot to look up what the Electrolux was. I wrote that down. I think I wrote it down for her other diary and not for this one. But I'll look up what an Electrolux is. At the bottom of some of the pages, she has like expenses, like things she paid for. I'm not going to read those out loud. Can't read half of them anyway. But yeah, she keeps her little expenses at the bottom. Sunday, January 3rd. It rained all night and carried off the snow. Miss Campbell had dinner with us. Albert went after her in the rain, which stopped later. We had roast chicken and squash pie. I did not go out of the house all day. Oh, and I forgot to mention in the whole intro, so her grandson, Park, let's get it right, Albert Park Shaw Jr. So he goes into the military, which is kind of what makes her collection of diaries interesting, because she keeps track of the war, because he went off to fight in World War II. So we'll get to that at some point. Not this year. And not in 2023 either, probably. We'll see. Just wanted to mention that because I told you it goes into the military, and this is when he goes in the military. He goes to a military school like 1938, I think. Let's see, Albert went uptown. We started our Christmas club. I don't know what the Christmas club is. I dismantled the tree and Albert cut it up. Henry called this Eve. 2 doctors told Park he has probably had scarlet fever. Tuesday, January 5th. Fine. Albert went to bank meeting this morning. Albert works with a bank. I'm not exactly sure what his title is. He's always gone to bank meetings with the bankmen. After dinner, we went to Dalton. Had a nap after we came home. Park called. He's better, but he has not got his strength back and has lost 15 pounds. We have been to the Travers this evening. I walked home from the garage. The Travers planned to start for Florida the 23rd. A letter to Harriet, Wednesday, January 6th. 18 degrees a.m., fine. Home all day. We intended going to the movies this afternoon, but Albert had to attend to some bank business, so we postponed it. Thursday, January 7th, letter from Cousin Charlie, 28 degrees a.m., sleet. Home all day, sleet turned to rain, and neither of us went out. Albert worked all day on his income tax. I received a letter from Cousin Charlie asking for information about the Lyon family from which we are descended. Henry called this noon. Friday, January 8th, letter from Harriet. I don't know. Fog. Albert worked in the bank and did not come home for lunch. He bought a Palm Beach suit and shirts and collars at Cuttings, which is selling out. I had a card from St. Petersburg from Mrs. Somebody. This afternoon we went uptown and I did a little shopping. I'm very tired tonight. Park called. We had to have his ear treated this PM. Henry called at noon. DAR met today. That's the Daughters of the American Revolution. Everybody is a member of this club. I swear. OES. Just matrons tonight, I think. There is a terrible fog. It's hard to read. But the OES is the Order of the Eastern Star. That's funny because like I didn't even look that up. I know that. It's like a Masonic thing. I did make some notes about the Masonic thing because she does mention the matrons and whatnot, but I don't know where that is. Yeah, it'll come at some point. Oh, here. Well, no. Yeah. Well, the Order of the Eastern Star. Let's just bring that over here. Okay, so the Order of the Eastern Star. Here's some information here. It's a Masonic appendant body open to both men and women. It's established in 1850 by lawyer and educator Rob Morris, a noted Freemason, and adopted and approved as an appendant body of the Masonic fraternity in 1873. The order is based on some teachings from the Bible and is open to people of all religious beliefs. It has approximately 10,000 chapters in 20 countries and approximately 500,000 members under its general grand chapter. Members of the Order of the Eastern Star are age 18 and older. Men must be master masons, and women must have specific relationships with masons. Originally, a woman would have to be the daughter, widow, wife, sister, or mother of a master mason. The order now allows other relatives as well as allowing Job's daughters, Rainbow Girls, members of the Organization of Triangles, New York only, and members of the Constellation of Junior Stars, New York only, to become members when of age. And a worthy matron, which she'll mention, is a presiding officer, and a worthy patron is a master mason who provides general supervision. So now we've got that. We will move on. I wanted to mention the Palm Beach suit because I was not familiar with that either. In 1908, Goodall Worsted Company of Sanford, Maine purchased the patent for a tropical weight mohair cotton blend fabric developed by William S. Nutter. Goodall called the fabric Palm Beach cloth and sold it directly to tailors and manufacturers. In 1931, the company began producing suits from that fabric as well. The Palm Beach suit became a summer classic. Washable and comfortable to wear, the legendary suit became the staple of the well-dressed man's summer wardrobe. So that's what he bought, a Palm Beach suit, and Cutter's the store going out of business, and I did not find them, alas. Whew, I need some tea after that. That was a lot of reading. My Invisalign kind of makes my mouth dry out. We've hit 20 minutes already. Jeez. Okay, Saturday, January 9th, letter to Betty. Cloudy. I sent slippers to Betty today. Have been working on my income tax. It will be $45.57. I don't know if I did the math on that. I might have gotten mixed up. Well, if I did not, I will put it over there. How much her income tax is. My income is less than $1,000, and I think it is an outrage. Yeah. There will probably be a surtax also, as there was last year. We had a card from the I don't know, people at St. Petersburg. There's a surtax of 10%, which makes my tax $50.12. Boo. I feel you. Sunday, January 10th, snow. It rained early in the morning and then snowed, so we had the walk shoveled. Albert went for the Tribune, and we stayed in the house all day. I invited Isabel, I think, to dinner. We had roast chicken. Monday, January 11th, letter from Charlie. 12 degrees a.m., home all day. Albert went uptown this morning and out with the bank men this afternoon. I began a new puzzle for a diversion. Tuesday, January 12th. 12th. Fine. Albert went to bank meeting. After dinner, we went out in the car. Her writing, is she writing in the car? It's terrible right now. Albert called at the hospital to see Mr. Miller, who is better. I am trying to write with my left hand. Oh, okay. We went over to call on Mrs. Miller, but she was not at home. Harriet sent me from New York, Drums Along the Mohawk, and I am delighted. I was going to buy it. Why are these like out of order or something? Because, okay. Drums Along the Mohawk. It was written in 1936 by Walter D. Edmonds. The story follows the lives of fictional Gil and Lana Martin, settlers in the central Mohawk Valley of the New York frontier during the American Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783. So, okay. Wednesday, January 13th, 32 degrees, fine. After dinner, we went to the Maplewood, and I just saw that, the Maplewood. Then to the movies at the Palace. I have not laughed so much in a year. Park and Marion called. I telephoned to Helen Barnfather this morning to thank her for a beautiful calendar. Received E. Williams check, $47, interest. So the Maplewood in Pittsfield, Massachusetts has been both witness and participant to American history spanning 200 years. The property's saga of transformation started in 1812, when the site began to play host to a U.S. military base and later a military prison. In the 2 centuries hence, the Maplewood has assumed a variety of identities, including boys' school, girls' school, resort, hotel, and currently upscale condominiums. So it's crazy to think this is almost 100 years ago. I'm guessing it was a resort hotel at that time. That's crazy. 90 years. E. Williams, I believe, I think she owns a house. I think she sold a house to someone and he like was paying the mortgage to her, but he's been behind on payments now. Well, he gets behind on payments. I think that's what's going on. Thursday, January 14th, letter to Harriet, 42 degrees, rain. Albert worked on his income tax all the morning and part of the afternoon. Such a waste of time. It rains tonight. I commenced reading Drums Along the Mohawk. Friday, January 15th, home all day. Received I don't know, a check, $83.25, and another check for $15.50, and another check for $3, and I can't really tell what they're for. She does business. We spent the evening at Henry's while he and Blanche went to the movies. It rained all last night. Saturday, January 16th, letter to Charlie, 26 degrees a.m., snow flurries. We went uptown this morning. Banked the checks received yesterday. In the afternoon, we went out to the AT camp, which I think stands for anti-tuberculosis camp. I don't understand what this is. I just know they've mentioned going to like anti-tuberculosis meetings, and it just kind of clicked that that's what she is abbreviating, anti-tuberculosis, but I don't really understand what this camp is. And then over to Parks for a little while. Mabel called this afternoon and Henry this evening. Isabel and Park started dancing school tonight. I gave her slippers. Yay. And her dancing shoes cost $4. Sunday, January 17th, 22 degrees a.m., rain. Home all day. It rained hard, Albert went after the Tribune, and we spent a lazy day. It snowed about 2 inches. Our walk was shoveled, and then it rained again. Monday, January 18th, right? Sorry, I got it. Short-term memory. Letter from Harriet, 40 degrees. It rained all night and no snow is left. Albert went with the bank men this afternoon. Park called. I had a nap after dinner. We walked around the block this evening. Henry called after we came home. Tuesday, January 19th, 32 degrees a.m., cloudy. Albert went to bank meeting this morning. In the afternoon we went to the movies at the Capitol. Albert talked with Mr. Miller tonight over the phone. He went home last Saturday but is not allowed to go downstairs yet. Park is to go to New Jersey tomorrow in respect to Marion's interest in her father's estate. I took the Christmas wreath from the front door this morning. Wednesday, January 20th, 22 degrees a.m., snow. Home all day. Albert got the car this noon, and we intended going to the Millers at 4 p.m., but the car would not start, and Park took it over to have the battery fixed. Park did not go to New Jersey. Albert went to a Musgrove meeting this evening in a snowstorm. I tried to figure out this Musgrove meeting thing. I think it has something to do with the Masons. But I couldn't really confirm that. Letter from Harriet, Thursday, January 21st. 32 degrees a.m., snow. Plum is in a hospital in Bridgeport and had his diaphragm fixed. See, I'm pretty sure it says Plum. I don't really know who this is. He will be there 10 days or so. He has had a great deal of pain. Park called. Virginia is sick with a cold. Albert and I went over to see the Millers. We sat in the large hall upstairs, for Mr. Miller is not allowed to go downstairs. He looks well, but still has a nurse. Harry West called while we were there. Henry called this evening. Friday, January 22nd. Home all day. Albert has a cold and did not go out either. Marion is sick with a cold. Mrs. May Wood received a radio call near Raleigh, North Carolina, on her way to Florida, that her mother is very ill in a hospital and she took a train for home. She was motoring with 2 other ladies, and the police traveled, trailed? I'm not sure, they did something with the car. Radio is wonderful. It rained all night and then snowed. Mrs. Traver telephoned this evening to say goodbye, for they are to start for St. Peter's at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Leo is to drive to Washington, then leave them. Saturday, January 23rd, wrote to Harriet, 26 degrees, home all day. It snowed about 3 inches. Albert's cold is better, but he has not been out. Park rented the downstairs part of 1145 Dalton Avenue to a Y-E-G-E? Is it a Y-E man? I don't know. Yeah, another thing I don't know. And that address, I can't remember if I got a picture of that address, but if I did, it's over here. You know how that works. Henry brought Isabel over this evening before taking her to dancing school. She had on a long dress and looked quite grown up and very pretty. I've finished a puzzle I've been working on for over a week, and it is pretty. The Castle by the Sea. Sunday, January 24th, 14 degrees a.m., cold, home all day. We read the paper, which Albert went after, and had a fire in the fireplace, and were very comfy. He finished reading Gone with the Wind, and I finished Drums Along the Mohawk. Park called. Monday, January 25th, letter from Harriet. 250 gallons of oil 40 degrees. Last night it snowed about 3 inches, then rained, and then was slush all day. Albert and Park went to Dalton right after breakfast. In the afternoon, Albert went out with the bankmen to something Barrington. What is this letter? I don't know what this letter is supposed to be. The floods are terrible and radio is full of the news. Albert is in bed listening. He's tired and I am too. Harriet says that Plum is doing finely. See, Harriet and Plum. Is Plum... Tuesday, January 26th, 30 degrees a.m., colder. Bank meeting was at 10 a.m. instead of 11, so Albert went early. After dinner, I did a little shopping and we went to Dalton, where Albert is having some work done at 1145, a place that they own and rent out, having rented a tenement. Wednesday, January 27th, fine. A beautiful day, and we were out both morning and afternoon. Called at the Millers for a few minutes this morning. Marjorie Miller jumped out of a window on the 14th floor of a New York hotel yesterday p.m. It is terrible. Funeral tomorrow. Albert has a letter from cousin Charlie that Emma died following an operation. Funeral in Pittsfield, Saturday p.m. We went to Dalton this afternoon. So about Marjorie Miller, I suppose they're friends with her parents. I did find this. I couldn't read the whole article, I think, because it was private, but I got like I got the details. Marjorie Miller jumped out of a room in a New York hotel on January 26, 1937. While her brother, unaware of her presence in New York, was in another room at the same hotel, Miss Marjorie E. Miller, 42 years old, daughter of a Pittsfield, Massachusetts newspaper publisher, fell or jumped 11 floors to her death there yesterday, according to the police. So that's all I found on that one. I don't really know what happened. Did she fall or did she jump? Why was she and her brother in the same hotel in different rooms? I don't know. But I am guessing the Millers are her parents. So that was sad. Thursday, January 28th, letter from Harriet. 16 degrees a.m., fine. Last night was quite cold. This morning I cut out some patchwork. After dinner we went up to the income tax place and I paid my tax. Albert's tax is very complicated on account of HFs. I don't know. There we went to Dalton. Park was working there also. Park was working there, also a carpenter and plumber. Harriet says she goes to Bridgeport every day to see Plum, a 40-mile round trip. The doctor took the bandage off. There are 11 stitches, about a ½ inch apart. The cut has healed. Friday, January 29th, wrote to Harriet. Fine day, home all day. Albert went to an anti-tuberculosis meeting this afternoon. Mabel called and said she was here yesterday, but we were out. It thawed today. Saturday, January 30th. Beautiful. We went uptown this morning, then to Dalton. Cousin Emma's funeral was at 3:30 p.m. at the cemetery, and of course we went and took Mrs. Bacchus. I stayed in the car, for I could not stand up during the service. Lizzie Barker, I think, came to speak with me. Cousin Charlie and James came to shake hands afterward. Emma was cremated. We took Reverend Mr. Gralton home. He lives across the road from us. Yeah, it's that letter that I'm not totally sure what it is. Sunday, January 31st, 28 degrees a.m. It began to snow about noon and continued all the afternoon, and we have several inches. Our walk was our walk was shoveled after dark. There was nice radio music both afternoon and evening. Albert got the paper this morning and did not go out again. I've not slept well the last 2 nights. Okay, so we're gonna stop there for now. I know I usually do like 2 months at a time in the readings, normally works out. But this time I had a lot to read to you in the introduction, and I'm just not gonna, reading February is gonna make this a very long one. So we'll sort that out. It will work out however it works out. Every diary is a little different in how long it takes to get through a month or a year. But yeah, for our first reading, I think I'm gonna stop there. And for those of you who are new to my channel and these diary readings, here's how it works. I do the first reading for each diary publicly here on YouTube, and anyone can watch it. For the rest of the diary, I make as many episodes as it takes to read through it, and they are in a little private club on buymeacoffee.com/KendallBrenneman. $5 a month, that's what it is right now. And I have been posting every 1.5 weeks, but I am trying to post every week now because I have so many to read through, and I need those extra days so we can get through them. And I'm aiming for once a week. We'll see how this goes. It's funny the difference like 3 days can make with like filming and editing, but let's see if we can do it. But they are going to be over there if you want to keep following along with this diary or any of the other diary readings on my channel. I know there were 2 that I did full readings on here for like a while back, Marcus and Adeline. Those are all on YouTube, I think. Maybe just Adeline's. Maybe Marcus's got in the, I don't remember, it's been like 2 years. But all the rest of the diaries, going back to last year and going forward from now, if you're interested in really reading through them all, they're on the Buy Me a Coffee, which you'll find a link below. What else? I also sell PDF scans of each of the diaries for $5 each, unless it's a tiny diary, then it's like $2. That way you can read along and help figure things out, or you can read ahead. I post them as soon as I start reading out of a diary, so you can read along or read ahead, like I said. What else? I guess that's all the important stuff. I keep forgetting to mention, I have that little button down there somewhere that you can like leave a tip on a video. What's it called? Like a super like or something? Now I forget what it's called. A thanks? I think it's a thanks. That's activated if anyone wants to do that. I don't make a whole lot of money off of YouTube or on the Buy Me a Coffee. And what I do earn basically goes back into buying more diaries, or hopefully, well, the idea is that the money I earn on the Buy Me a Coffee can help cover the costs of returning the diaries once I find their families, because that's the point. We enjoy them, we read them, share them, and I try to find their families and get them back where they belong if possible. So since diaries are expensive to buy, my goodness, it's getting bad, I kind of earmarked the funds from the Buy Me a Coffee to cover the cost. So like I've only returned 2 so far, but the last one, I tell them like, this is how much I paid for the diaries. I have made enough to cover that. If you'd like to give me anything, you're welcome to, but you don't have to. So the idea is to make enough that this is always possible. that I can just kind of cover the cost of buying diaries. But for now, I have not made that much with it. I need more subscribers. So head on over there. Also, I did just start a TikTok. Sorry, this is getting long. It's already long. It's long. Whatever. I started a TikTok for the diary project. Not much there yet. Got to work on that. And an Instagram. So the links will be down below if you want to follow those. I will post little pictures and videos there at some point. I've just got a lot to do. But I set them up. So go follow if you're interested. And now I think that's it. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna take a break, and then probably record the next reading while I'm here with my hair kind of done. It's too long. It's too long. It's not working. All right, I will see you later, I hope. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Ciao.